Hello everyone, welcome to our explanation of the sinking hot sauce packet. So before we get into the explanation, let's review a couple concepts that we talked about in our last video. So to find out an object's density, we need to pay attention to two things, the mass and the volume. Now again, mass is the amount of stuff that is in an object, and volume is the amount of space which that stuff takes up. So for tap water, the amount of mass is about the same as the amount of volume. So why does the packet with 10 twist ties sink, but only when it's squeezed? Now remember, we had a couple different packets, one that had no twist ties, one that had a few twist ties. Then there was one that had 10 twist ties, and when that one was there, you squeeze the bottle and it will sink to the bottom. Now Maya will explain a little bit more.
Hi everyone, I'm going to show you guys the answer to why the packet sinks to the bottom. So the reason is because when you squeeze the bottle, you're actually squeezing the packet, and when you squeeze the packet, there's a bunch of stuff in a small space, so it becomes denser, so it goes to the bottom. Bye.
So here's a little bit more detail. So when an object is said to have low density, the mass is much less than the volume. For example, the hot sauce packet. The hot sauce packet floats in tap water because it has a lower density than the water. When you add twist ties, that increases its mass. So before, mass is less than the volume, but now when you add more mass, it's closer to what the volume is. But it still floats. So even with the packet having the twist ties, it's still going to float. Now remember, in our last video, we talked about when you squish a squishy, squishing a squishy squishes its mass into a smaller volume. So you have the mass less than the volume, but now when you squeeze it, the bottle decreases the packet's size or its volume. So when you squeeze the bottle, it decreases the packet's size or the volume. Remember, Maya showed you that when you squeeze it, you're actually putting the pressure to the packet, not the bottle. So that means that the volume is going to go down. So here's a closer look in slow motion. So you can see the actual packet get smaller right around in this area right here. So the packet's deforming right there in the middle, and that will allow it to become denser because it's taking up a smaller space, and it will then sink to the bottom of the bottle as it already has here. So let's wrap it up. So why does the packet sink? It sinks because it has a higher density than the water. When it's not squeezed, the packet has a lower density than the water. That means that it's going to float. When it's squeezed, it has a greater density than the water, which means that it's going to sink. So thank you very much. See you later.